I play. Baby, won't you come my way? Come my way.
J Maxwell, welcome back to my channel. This is J Max Reacts. Today I'm watching a video about hip-hop content that says rappers who fell off. Let's see who's listed and what they have to say.
Making it to the top of the rap game is one thing, but staying there is totally different. Today, we're breaking down the biggest rappers who fumbled the bag and fell off. The baby literally fell off last year when he stumbled into the crowd during the set, but now his career is taking a nosedive too. He blew up in 2019 and dropped back-to-back #1 albums, but now he's struggling to even book a show. It all started last year when the baby performed at Rolling Loud in Miami. In the middle of the show, he went on a homophobic rant and said,
"You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die 2-3 weeks, put yourself on like that."
The baby got dragged for it online. So he clapped back and said, "What me and my fans do at the live show, it don't concern you on the internet, or you bitter bitches on the internet." All the controversy led to Lollapalooza and the Governor's Ball pulling them from their schedule. Then he got cut from Parklife Festival, Day in Vegas, Austin City Limits Festival, Music Midtown, and the iHeartRadio Music Festival too. He ended up apologizing on IG, but then deleted the post and got even more backlash. The baby had hopped on Dua Lipa's Levitating remix, and after Rolling Loud, she said, "I'm surprised and horrified at the baby's comments. I really don't recognize this as the person I work with. I know my fans know where my heart lies, and that I stand 100% with the LGBTQ community." Radio stations ended up playing an alternate version of the track without the baby on it. Everything calmed down after a while, and the baby went back to doing shows, but it looks like his career took a massive hit. Back in August, his show at the Smoothie King Center Arena in New Orleans was canceled after he allegedly sold less than 500 tickets. His team obviously expected to sell more. The arena holds 14,000 people, and selling less than 500 isn't a good sign for him. His team says the story is all capped though. They put out a statement and said the baby's New Orleans show was pulled by the artist team due to the promoter being in breach of contract. The baby will be back in New Orleans very soon to make it up to his fans. They say he's gonna make it back up to fans, but it doesn't look like the baby has many of them left.
Damn.
Riding Rich blew up back in 2018 when his track Die Young racked up over 80 million views on YouTube. Then in 2019, he took it to another level when he dropped his debut album, Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, which debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 and stayed there for 4 weeks. His track The Box stayed at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 11 weeks and now has over 1 billion streams on Spotify. Roddy became a superstar pretty much overnight, but now fans think the fame is gonna be gone as quickly as it came. After his first album dropped, Roddy hopped on some other people's songs, but wasn't releasing any new solo music. Fans were waiting for his sophomore record, and in 2020, he told GQ that the album was done and that it was a full-blown masterpiece, a real idea, a real body of work. 2 years after his first album, Roddy finally dropped Live Life Fast in December 2021, but fans and critics weren't feeling it like his older projects. It debuted at #4, but fell off fast, and people immediately started saying that Roddy peaked. Back in February, he started hyping up his new music. He posted a snippet from a track called Out My Mind, but people started clowning the track like crazy. A couple hours later, he ended up deleting the snippet and wrote, "Guess I'm a flop now. Shit crazy," on his IG story. The situation was obviously getting to him, because after that, Roddy deactivated his Twitter and IG account. A lot of fans thought he totally fell off, but back in June, Post Malone announced that Roddy Ricch was going to be touring with him. Roddy was featured on the track Cooped Up off Post Malone's new album, and getting the tour with one of the hottest artists in the world should definitely help his career. He definitely fell off from where he was a couple of years ago, but if he drops another hit, Roddy could be right back at the top. Lil Mosey went viral off the track Pull Up back in 2018. He was dropping music for a couple years and built up a fan base, but Pull Up really put him on the map and racked up over 25 million views on YouTube. He followed it up with the track Booth Pack, which also got millions of plays. And then his third official single, Notice, popped off and did crazy numbers. The track got a Cole Bennett music video that almost has 300 million views on YouTube. Mosey dropped his debut album later that year. It did solid numbers and reached #29 on the Billboard 200. But a lot of fans are surprised that it didn't sell more. All the singles popped off and did big numbers, but that success didn't carry over to album sales. In 2019, he had another Cole Bennett music video for the track Bust Down Cartier, but it only racked up around 15 million views. 15 mil is a lot, but his last collab with Bennett almost hit 300, so this was definitely a fall off. He dropped his second album in 2019, but it only sold 23K in the first week, and fans weren't really rocking with it. It looked like Mosey had fallen off for good. But in 2020, he went more viral than ever with the track Blueberry Faygo. Mosey hopped on the TikTok rap wave, and it paid off big time. Blueberry Faygo went crazy online, and the music video racked up even more views than the video for Notice. The same day he dropped the track, Mosey reissued his second album and put Blueberry Faygo on it. Now, it's his most popular song with over 1 billion streams on Spotify. Even though he brought his career back, it looks like Mosey is falling off again. None of his new tracks are doing numbers. Plus, he's facing serious legal allegations too.
He was good
Mosey's trial has been pushed back a couple of times, and now it's set to start on December 12, 2022. The charges definitely didn't help his career,
right?
But it looks like it was pretty much over anyway.
Subjective.
Rich the Kid got into the rap game back in 2013 after hustling for a few years. He started popping off and ended up signing a new deal with Interscope in 2017. For a while, he was working with huge artists like Kendrick Lamar, Quavo, and Future, but his career lost a lot of steam. Last year, his Lucky EP only sold 5K his first week out. Rich tried to level up and become a label boss when he started Rich Forever Music, but the label never really popped off, and he's had a lot of drama with his own artists too. This also led to his infamous beef with Lil Uzi Vert. Back in December 2020, Rich aired out how he feels about the industry on his IG stories. He said, "The industry's full of lying, stealing, blood-sucking motherfuckers for real. They will hate you, talk shit about you, and the whole time be dead-ass broke." Around the same time, Fashion Nova hit him up with a lawsuit for $2.1 million over a $100,000 advance that Rich allegedly ran off with. He clapped back on IG and said, "I don't owe Fashion Nova no money. If Fashion Nova want $100,000 from me, they know I can pull up and drop it off." Rich also had to hand over a bag to his former managers. A judge ordered him to pay Blueprint Artist Management $1.1 million after they sued him for not paying. Then his landlord sued him for over $300K after Rich got $32,000 behind on rent payments. He already had money issues going on. And in January 2021, Jay Critch aired Rich Forever out on Instagram. He wrote, "I am not rich forever. That shit been a dub. Stop letting these cap about owning masters and shit. They trying to hold in bum-ass deals. Be your brother until the business come up. Then it's all lawyer talk, contract talk, not real nigga shit. If y'all want new music, tell them free Critch, whole ass." Rich clapped back and accused Critch of snaking him just to get a bag. And the situation started getting heated. They sent shots back and forth on social media for a while, but eventually they squashed the beef. Last year, Rich went on the New Music Daily podcast and said, "I feel like when it comes to business, you really need to just keep it in-house. But sometimes when your emotions get mixed up into the business, that's when shit goes bad. That's what I'm really learning as I grow up. We've been friends forever, so definitely. We spoke on the phone. I talked to him yesterday." Luckily, Rich and Jay Critch put it all behind them and are cool again. And hopefully, Rich can get his legal situation sorted out too. He fell off for sure, but he could bounce right back if he drops a hit or signs an artist that pops off and puts on for the label.
Why are you not investing in tax liens? No, seriously. Why are you not investing into one of the most...
Famous Dex blew up back in the mid-2010s. He dropped a couple of independent mixtapes, then signed to Rich the Kid's label. In 2017, he popped off with the tracks Japan and Pick It Up with A$AP Rocky. But his addiction and time in jail ended up killing his career, and his latest track hasn't even hit 50,000 streams. Back in 2018, Dex fell asleep in the middle of an IG Live session. Fans were worried that he was nodding off the pills, but Dex did not using any hard drugs. Then in 2019, he suffered a seizure in the middle of a set in Hollywood. Rumors said it was caused by drugs, but Dex and his team said it was epilepsy and not from substance abuse. Dex was still dropping music, but nothing gained any traction. Fans could tell he was on drugs, even though he kept denying it. After a lot of people reached out, Dex hopped on IG Live and told everyone to stay out of his business. He said, "Stop worrying about the next motherfucker that's doing drugs. The world on drugs. You know what I'm saying? I got money. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do." Goofy ass. What you worried about me for? And two, I don't do none of that shit. I smoke weed and take care of my kids. But less than a day later, after he told everyone he was good, the news broke that Dex had gone into rehab. He got out in January 2021, but when he hopped back on social media, it was clear that he was using again. Fans were worried that he might die from an overdose, but he ended up getting booked in jail a couple months later. In March 2021, Dex got hit with 19 charges from 3 different situations. According to police, in November 2020, Dex got into a standoff with a SWAT team after allegedly hurting his ex-girlfriend. In October 2020, he allegedly attacked another woman, and in March 2021, he was arrested during a traffic stop for carrying a loaded gun. Even though Dex had some wild charges against him, he only got hit with a 1-year sentence. He was released in September, but then went straight into rehab. He said he plans on staying there until at least November, and hopefully this time, he can kick the addiction for good.
Okay.
Lil Xan was a big part of the SoundCloud mumble rap wave, but he went from touring with massive artists like Nicki Minaj to dropping out of his own tour and starting beef with a random metal band who was a supporting act. Xan had huge hits like Slingshot and Betrayed and racked up millions of plays, but the popularity didn't last. In 2019, he announced he was retiring and said, "I quit rapping and I'm only going to focus on moving forward with the Xanarchy clothing line and brand." But after a few years of battling addiction, Xan decided to make a comeback. He announced a new tour, but then dropped out of the first show. A band called Dropout Kings was supposed to open for him, and they aired Xan out on IG after he dropped the set. They wrote, "Straight up, Lil Xan, 100%, I don't even care. Dude is a total piece of shit for doing this to all the artists and staff involved in this." Xan clapped back and said all the issues were because of Dropout Kings and their team, but nobody really knows what's going on.
Damn.
Later that same month, he dropped his first project in 3 years, but only 2 songs hit over 100K streams. Lil Xan was one of the most popular SoundCloud rappers for a while, but he fumbled the bag and let his career fall completely off. Luckily, he's at least sober now. Even though his music isn't popping off like it used to, that's still a huge win.
Was that it? This was really, really good. Like I say, for some of it, it's so subjective because, you know, music is something that people hear and receive different ways. So like the Roddy Ricch one is the one I think about the most. It's like, you know, you post a snippet today, what you feeling right now. One, that might not even been what the song became. He might not even use the song. And whatever his next project would have been, it might not have sounded like that one song. But his second album was dope. His first album was dope as well, to me at least. And yeah, that was a good one. I didn't know who Lil Xan was. Not somebody I heard of. He just did not look right. That's something I look at some of them nowadays, and I'm like, they already don't look a certain way. They look like they troubled. And it's like, you want to give them a better life, you need to be careful in this to the labels of, you know, making sure that you support them outside of just the music, because the business gonna always get fucked up when the emotions get in the way. You're doing art. Art is subjective. It brings in emotions. It brings in feelings. There's really not a business mind to it all the time. It's just, you know, it's something that's, I don't know how to describe it. Like, y'all know what I'm coming. Y'all know where I'm coming from. Like, it's not. You don't walk into a business. You don't walk into the studio on a business mission. You know, you walk into that space to create. It's supposed to be free. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be what you want it to be. But then you get crossed up in the business and it just fucks a lot of things up. So then you got emotions and drugs and stuff. And then people go to social media and it's just crazy. But this was good for explaining like some people that I didn't really pay attention to the fact that they maybe had fallen off, like Famous Dex and Rich the Kid. Like I'd never really thought about them as falling off. But yeah, I have not heard much from them in years. I did used to listen to a lot of their stuff. I still like Lil Mosey, despite the things that he's dealing with. I do believe the lawsuit was the only thing that killed his buzz. I think if he could have kept going with what he was doing prior to the lawsuit, he would have been fine. Because he was dropping stuff consistently. And if he wasn't dropping, he was featured on stuff consistently. But it makes me also think about what's going on with like Smoke Perp and Lil Skies and like that whole, like, that whole, what's the word I'm looking for here? Their whole little group of like rappers in that little realm that came out and they was killing it together and they was always collaborating with each other. But yeah, yes, this was a good one. The current state of rap music is so different and so weird that you can be hot today and then just cold tomorrow. And it's not because you're doing anything different. It's because what people hear and what they feel and what they are willing to buy into is so different and so sideways and then two-sided. Like you just can't win with this particular audience. You gotta either put out something that's hot for TikTok every time, or you gotta just say, screw it, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, and they're not gonna support it. My numbers are gonna be low, the streams are gonna be crazy, whack after the end of the sales period. It's just weird. It's just weird. As somebody who grew up in different eras before streaming, before TikTok, before all of this, it's sad to see it sometimes, because it's like y'all really sleep on good music sometimes because you don't like it right at first. And it's like that destroys the rollout of a more in-depth project where there might be 6 songs out of 14 that you absolutely love, but because this one came out that you didn't like right at first, you don't even support the rest of it. So I feel that. I feel the artist pain in that. I'm not an artist, but that's just what I see and what I think. is going on in some of it. I could be wrong, could be reaching, I always say that. But yes, this was good. Let me know your thoughts on it below. Comment, like, subscribe. Until next time.